Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Tesla and its CEO, Elon Musk, are off to a bad start in 2024. The stock of the company is down more than 35%, wiping out most of the huge gains it made in 2023. Tesla's stock has dropped to its lowest level since January. It is now one of the worst performers in the S&P 500, right behind Boeing. How did Tesla get here? In January, the company said that sales growth would be much slower than expected. This made investors worry about demand and the growing threat of competition from China. Musk then said that Tesla would be focusing on making its next-generation car. It was the biggest drop in the value of Tesla's stock in more than a year, and it lost $80 billion in value that day. Tesla's problems didn't end when plans for a new plant in Mexico were shelved. This is similar to the problems Ford and GM were having with selling electric vehicles. It's clear that the road ahead won't be easy. In this video, we'll talk about how insurance rates are going up, how dangerous EV fires are, and how China's dominance in battery materials is causing problems in the supply chain. But the big question is still there. Is the dream of EVs losing its shine? Do governments try to do too much and too quickly? Is the market ready for such a big change? To show your support, though, please like this video and sign up for Tesla stock news. Now let's begin. EV sales are going through a rough patch right now. A shocking new study says that the market for electric vehicles is going through a big downturn. EVs are hard for car companies to sell, and they're losing billions of dollars because of it. This study shows why electric vehicles, EVs, might not be the future everyone thought they would be. It also points out three major problems that have caused Tesla's stock to drop by an amazing $80 billion in just 1 week. What does this report say? Do politicians have any secrets they want to hide? Could EVs be more of a scam than a way to help? Get ready to hear about some frightening failures that have come to light if you thought the push for EVs was only coming from automakers. The story begins in the middle of 2023. EV sales were going up because more names were putting out electric cars, but reality set in when longtime EV owners told scary stories that showed how hard it really is to own one of these cars. Consumer Reports recently released a shocking report that names several EV companies, including Tesla, and showed that EVs may not be as safe as they say they are. Some of the world's best experts are also sounding the alarm, saying that the EV market could be the next big disaster. In Arizona, 250 brand-new Teslas, some of which are Cybertrucks, are parked outside of a movie theater that has been boarded up. Carl Brower, an expert for iSeeCars.com, says that these overflow lots show that demand is low. He says, "You see a lot full of brand-new Teslas, and it keeps getting fuller. There is no doubt that they can't sell these cars." When asked about these lots, Tesla has not replied. Even with all the hype and the government's $7,500 tax credit, more and more people are not interested in electric vehicles. Big names like Ford and GM are also feeling the heat. Ford's EV business lost more than $1 billion in just 3 months, so the company had to cut back on investments. GM isn't doing much better either. EVs are also cutting into their income. California has been a leader in the electric vehicle EV movement. In the last 3 months of 2023, Tesla's sales dropped by 10% in California. An important fact is that California has been Tesla's biggest market, and the company has been the face of the EV movement. What's going on then? Charging stations in public places are a mess, sleek electric cars cost a lot of money, and government benefits are not at all clear. On top of that, Musk's controversial comments may be turning people away. He even said that China might soon have the most EVs on the market. Let's look more closely at how EV sales are going right now. Ford and GM lost $5 billion on their electric vehicle EV businesses in just 1 year. That means they lost $36,000 on every EV they sold. Tesla used to make money, but in order to stay competitive, they had to cut their prices 7 times in 1 year. People want EVs, but they don't want to pay crazy amounts of money for them. China provides 80% of the Biden administration's electric vehicle EV sources. This makes production more expensive and puts the country at risk of becoming too dependent on one country. It was a great start to 2023 for EV sales, but all of a sudden, they dropped sharply. Rates on loans have gone up, which makes EVs even more expensive to own. People are now considering hybrids and regular gas-powered cars again. The CEO of Toyota is also putting a lot of money on hybrid cars and hydrogen fuel, not only in the US, but also even though the EU plans to ban gas cars after 2035. Sales of electric vehicles are also going down in Germany. Tesla just dropped its plans to build a new factory in Mexico, which shows that the market for electric cars is changing. General Motors has also put off making its electric pickup trucks and stopped making the Chevy Bolt, which was its most cheap electric vehicle. Ford has stopped making the F-150 Lightning because sales have been so bad, finding it harder than expected to get loyal customers to move to electric vehicles. Aside from sales, there are a lot of problems that make it hard for EVs to become widely used. From pain in the range to software bugs, the list is long. One big worry is that there aren't enough charging sites. It's like having a phone, but nowhere to charge it. At first, EVs were popular because of a wave of government incentives and rules, but now that those advantages are ending, people are losing interest in EVs. Sales have gone down in places like Germany and France, where government incentives for EVs have been cut back. In the US, the tax break is now available on fewer cars, which makes people even less excited. In just a few days, this new study on EVs has caused Tesla's stock price to drop by billions of dollars. According to the study, 80% of EV owners would never buy another one because of problems with the engine, leaky systems, and infotainment systems that don't work right. The report points the finger at two main groups: traditional car companies that are still learning how to use EV technology, and new companies like Rivian that are still working out how to make cars. Electric drive motors, charge problems, and battery-related problems are at the top of the list of problems. Finding a plug isn't the only problem with charging. Some EVs won't charge in cold weather, and others lose up to 40% of their power while charging. With rates going up as high as $6,000 a year, it's become very expensive to insure an EV. The fact that EV batteries are ticking time bombs and cost a lot to fix isn't helpful. One very scary thought is the chance of EV fires, which have already killed 112 people. Traditional ways of fighting fires don't always work because EV batteries can start up again, making zombie fires. To make things even worse for Tesla, Musk's comments about China's dominance in the EV market may have made things even worse. BOLDEST, a Chinese company with strong support from the government, has sold more cars than Tesla and is now expanding into the US. At the same time, the US still gets 80% of the materials it needs to make EVs from China. If there are any problems in the supply chain, the prices of American EVs could go through the roof. Taking into account America's long-standing love affair with gas-guzzling cars makes things more complicated. Even though Ford and GM are putting a lot of money into making iconic models like the Silverado and the F-150 Lightning Electric, people aren't rushing to switch. The Biden administration is being pushed to slow down on the EV push, but over 3,000 auto dealers are speaking out against it. When it comes to EVs, what's next? Big car companies like Ford and GM are putting on the brakes because they know that people might not be ready to give up gasoline-powered cars just yet. IC engines may still be the most common type of car engine for at least another 10 years. But some leaders are still holding on to the EV dream, even though there are many red flags. They think that if they work hard enough, the future they want will appear magically. The problem is that you can't just wing it when you're running a business, especially one as complicated and important as making cars. The EV mess could be a great example of what goes wrong when politicians try to run a business. What do you think? Is the EV craze real, or is it just a bubble about to pop? Should automakers slow down on their electric goals, or is this just a bump in the road? Share your ideas in the comments. If you found this talk insightful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Tesla Stock News for more updates on the ever-evolving world of electric vehicles and the stock market. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next deep dig.